They're telling me like, you need to do something about this. This is not like something that you could just be like, oh, okay, I'm angry. It must be something else in here. Like it was almost like a kick in the ass. Like, okay, start being a medium, bitch.
No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long.
Hey y'all, welcome back. I just wanted to share a quick story time with you, okay? Some years ago, before I started getting into my spiritual path, and I'm gonna call it a spiritual path because I don't know what else to call it, y'all. I feel like it was just another version of my life. I can't even call it that, but when I first started, before I even understood that I was actually psychic or that I had gifts, and I mean like a straight up medium, I didn't know that nobody else could feel the same things that I was feeling or see the same things that I was seeing. I felt like everybody was a part of this. So I feel like in the beginning, I really tried to shy away from my gifts because I didn't understand why it would be me, okay? Or it was almost like that imposter syndrome where it's just like all of a sudden now I'm developing something that I've never had before. Or, you know, it just felt like it was hitting me. And in the beginning of this new version of my life, I kept having like significant dreams. And, you know, as I've said in previous videos before, that's one of my strongest gifts, okay? But clearly I have a lot of the clairs, so it's not the only gift that I have, but that's what started it off for me. And I feel like what made me realize how psychic I was, or just in general that I had some type of angelic gift, was a dream, okay? So years ago, like I said, I was having a dream this one day, and I kept struggling with something that I didn't want to share with everybody because I felt like, okay, if I share with anybody, what are they going to say? Are they going to say that I'm crazy as hell? You know, what are they going to say? But I was living in a place, okay, where there was a lot of spiritual activity. I had an apartment, and I was living in an apartment that I knew there was an entity there. That entity was angry. That person was angry. Whoever died in there before me. It wasn't a new apartment, y'all. Okay, this is back in the Dizzy, okay? And I was living in an apartment where, like I said, I kept feeling like angry for no reason. I was feeling like there's somebody else here. There's somebody watching me. Of course, I'm starting to see visions, but I keep thinking I'm making this shit up in my head. And I feel like one day I just had enough, okay? Because the spirit was waking me up in the middle of the night, like shaking the bed. Like I was starting to have feelings that I like amplified. So I'm like, what in the hell? Like this, it won't leave me alone. Like it will not leave me alone. And it's getting to the point where I can't sleep. Like this is when I started getting on sleeping pills because I was like, I can't do this. And I was also shying away from my gifts, like I was saying earlier. So I was trying to ignore the fact that I was seeing stuff. And the spirit had tried to come to me in a dream before. And I'm like, what the hell? So I just was angry all the time. This entity was there. I didn't know why I was angry, but it was because of that. And it was harvesting somewhere in the apartment. And I just obviously, I had stumbled upon it. So one day I had a dream, and I went into this dream, and it felt like I was in a place that I had never been before. It was the most beautiful vision I have ever, when I say I have ever had, it's the most beautiful sight I have ever had. And I'll tell you why. So if any of y'all have ever come across any like near-death experiences where people describe heaven or they describe hell, you know, there is some correlations to that, to what I saw, but not many. I will say what I saw was I was stepping into like a place. I couldn't tell if it was like a location, a castle, a house, or just a dimension in general. Because what looked to be my surroundings was a church. Like we were inside of a church somewhere, and the walls were extremely significant in the dream because the colors of the walls was just like unheard of, okay? I mean, and it was gold, and the color of gold, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, in this dream it was just so many colors all around, and on the walls of the church and just everywhere, and I really couldn't see the church. I just knew it was a church. And I kept seeing like just like magnificent colors, things that you had never seen before. Like we have not seen what real gold looks like. The gold that we see every day, somebody got a gold chain on, or the color gold, is not gold, because the colors that I saw in this dream, that's what made it very significant for me. And it made me understand in that moment, this is significant. This is not just a dream, this is a vision. So I'm recognizing the colors all over. I can't think straight because I'm just so in awe. Like I can't even speak. I'm not speaking. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the colors of the wall and I'm like, where am I at? And I'm looking around and then I see 3 angels and they aren't even looking at me. I just see their back. And some angels have wings, some of them don't. Be aware. So they look like women, okay? They look like 3 women or maybe 2 women and a man, but they were turned like the opposite direction to me. And it was almost like I was part of a secret conversation, or I was overhearing something that they were talking about and they were letting me in on it. And it was almost like I was standing kind of in like a third party view or in some way in this vision. And as I'm noticing the colors of the walls, I'm seeing them huddled talking and they're whispering. Then it becomes loud to where I can hear what they're saying. And the angels are talking about how they need to protect, they need to do this, they need to do that. And somebody had a book in their hand. So I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm just overhearing whatever they're talking about. Nothing is super significant. And then it was almost like they saw me and they swept me into like a whole nother vision. And they showed me that me, okay, in my apartment. So it was almost like they were discussing me in this huddle. And when they saw me, they're like, okay, let's show her what's going on. So they showed me in this apartment, and they were showing me the spirit, the entity that I kept feeling. And they were showing that it was very dark, that it was almost like this spirit didn't even have a real shape, but it was definitely an entity, and it was draining my energy. Severely so. It was keeping me up. It was doing certain things that was like purposely trying to attack my light. Just certain things that I don't even want to speak on, like just things that just was not right. Trying to drain me. And it was just very unhappy. It just was very unhappy. And in this vision that they showed me that this entity was taking from me, and my higher self, or the way that they showed me was basically to say that I needed to protect myself. They were protecting me as well. And I needed to be aware of the situation because this entity was doing more damage than good. Okay. And so I needed to get it out. So it was almost like they showed me something that I couldn't deny. Okay. I definitely couldn't deny. And so once I came out of the dream or out of the vision, I recognized like, okay, they're telling me like, you need to do something about this. This is not like something that you could just be like, oh, okay, I'm angry. It must be something else in here. Like it was almost like a kick in the ass. Like, okay, start being a medium, bitch. Like start doing what you need to do to protect yourself. You need to start the path. And it was almost like they allowed that situation to happen so that I could start my journey. And now like I do protection spells. I do spells for other people, like to the point where it felt like it was natural. So to be honest, like, please pay attention to your dreams, y'all. I guess I could turn this into like a little bit of like a lesson here. Like pay attention to your dreams, okay? And also pay attention to your environments as well. Like be aware that if you feel like your energy or the emotions that you're having is not yours, or you feel like it's not coming from you, then it may not be. That's not to say every situation is a spiritual situation. But I will say that for a lot of y'all are very intuitive. You know the difference between like a good feeling and a bad feeling and what's yours and what's not yours. So trust your intuition. In that case, I had to protect myself and I had to cleanse that motherfucker out of there, and I did so, and it was very quick and very easy for me. But I feel like they were definitely trying to show me that like I had the power to do so, and that's why they were huddling, because they could have done it themselves. But it was my turn. It's like it was my turn. They're like, okay, well, let's show her what's going down. She needs to do this and do that. Okay, so that's what I got for y'all. Okay, just pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to how you're feeling as well. And it may show you something new or a new gift about yourself. Okay, I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.